Our review topic today is about ratios. So ratios, if you remember, is just a comparison between two numbers. So I'm comparing different amounts. So often I'll see pictures or different colors, like different color marbles, different groups of recess equipment, like just stuff in general, and I'm making a comparison between those amounts. So for instance, I know that I have 3 hearts in this picture, I have 2 clouds, and I have 4 trees. So I could make different ratios between those amounts. I could say that I have 3 hearts to 2 clouds. Or I could have 4 trees to 3 hearts. So in this case, my order would matter because 4 to 3 is not the same as 3 to 4. This is one way that I can write ratios with the word to. I always read it with that word to, but sometimes I write it differently. So I could also write it as 3 to 2 using a colon, or 4 to 3 using a colon. I can also write ratios as fractions. So 3 to 2, 4 to 3. The fraction way makes more sense when I think about a part out of a whole. So for instance, altogether I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 shapes. So I could say that I have 3 hearts out of 9 shapes, or 3 to 9. That's a part to whole ratio. These are part to part ratios. So often, if I'm using a fraction, it might be part to whole. You see how it would make a big difference if I were switching it to, say, 9 to 3, which would be a whole to part ratio. Those would be very different. I could say that this 3/9, I could simplify it to 1 to 3 because the ratio stays the same. So the amount, the proportion stays the same between those different amounts. So that's something to keep in mind. So that's really all ratios are. There's comparisons between numbers. I look at different groups. I need to make sure that I'm paying attention to equal ratios, that the first number in the word is the same as the first number in the colon and the same as the top number in the fraction. And it's just kind of counting and being careful with making sure that any fractions are equal, that numbers are the same. So simplifying fractions would mean that there's an equal ratio as well. So something like the 2 to 4 of the clouds to trees could also be read as 1 to 2, could also be read as 4 to 8, even though I don't have 8 trees and 4 clouds. If I did have 4 clouds and 8 trees, the ratio would be the same. So the amount, the comparison would be the same. Hopefully that helps.